So as a director, I'm a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious and nervous, but also really excited. There's a lot to think about of the process of everything, making sure everything is going smoothly, making sure you have all the props and everything going good like that. But it is really fun because you get to see every aspect of it. You get to really kind of go over with the actors the lines and stuff like that, and also just kind of see the whole project come in together, which right now has been what's been the most exciting part, just seeing everybody go through it. And it's like, yes, this is all coming together. This is going to be excited. This is going to be fun. So I think we're actually going to have a really good production.
Where do you want Jensen and I before this?
So you're going to be working on this. So the table's going to be here.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing a mixed scene of close-ups and angles.
So I'm on the wrong side to go for that.
So, what's happening right now?
We are just rehearsing our shot, and they're just like stunt coordinator and actors figuring out what to do, and we are checking the shots right now.
How do you feel about the lighting?
It's a little challenging, but good. I think it'll be okay.
Great.
We're gonna be okay.
We only had one day at our location, which meant that we had to do all of our blocking during the day, even though we were shooting at night. So trying to figure out what the light would look like was quite the challenge.
Okay, Steven, tell us what's happening here.
We are getting into the final stages, about ready to start shooting The Spy Sister. Our lights are in place. We're getting the crew in place. We've gone through the script a couple of times. So now is the last minute scramble before things really start happening.
You wanna grab this end, plug it in, I'll plug it in here.
In here we're using the fog machine, in addition to the dust that was being kind of kicked up from the ground as people were walking around, to fill out empty space, since it was a really big space, as well as create interest and catch the lights that were coming in. So because it was such a huge space, one of the challenges that we were faced with was that the space ate up all the light. So we had originally brought way more lights than we thought we would actually need, but in the end we ended up using all of them because it was definitely needed. We also lined them up all the way around where the actors were walking to make sure that they were always in the light. In here you can see that the fog is really adding to the atmosphere of the scene. And we also had lights from pretty much every direction. So we had the car lights that were highlighting the ground, as you can see here, with a little bit of kind of a warmer feel to it, where we had the lights on the side that was casting the more of a white light on the actors' faces, as well as creating shadows, which we wanted to make them look a little bit more intimidating. So here you can see the amount of lights that we really needed to cover all of the space in order to have everything lit up. We also had 2 500-watt halogen work lights that we were using as practical lighting in the interrogation setup, which also allowed us to punch up the fight sequence by creating silhouettes and hair halos, and also giving us a nice warm feel to the scene. So we do have lights spaced out all over the place, different levels as well. We do, as you can see, we do have a light that's at the very top of the tractor as well as mid-level. The reason why we had that was because the scene is filled with action running around everywhere, so we want to make sure that we had all of the light spaces covered, so that we didn't have to move everything every single time that we had to do a different angle. So we have them so that at one point you can see where she goes to undo her binds. She still has light on her, so that we could actually see her doing that. The same thing where it comes, but even though they were still somewhat in the shadow, you can also see at one point where we have one of the actors that needed to go and climb up the tractor, though he would still be highlighted, that you would still kind of see his face slightly lit up, even though we still want to remain a little bit in the shadows. And that's how we had cast the light in order to create that effect. Setting up this shoot and lighting up a location this size in a night setting, especially in the time frame that we had, was really challenging. But I'm really happy with how everything turned out. And we also had a great cast that were really easy to work with and had a fantastic crew that worked really hard to bring everything together.
It's done.